If you are interested in Cecil Ryu merchandise, this is a prototype. We want to raise the logo up. So let me see if I can get a good shot of the shirt first. So this is something that my daughter's working on. And if you're interested in merchandise, let me know and I'll see if I can get her to make more. But on to the video. So attorney Andrew Bronca did a video on, I guess you could call it the worst approach he felt that someone took to home defense. And I'm just going to play the audio clip of it. I thought that this comment that he made in his video was a good jumping off point for me as to why I teach what and how I teach. So let's take a look at it.
Go into a fight with flip-flops. Cheapers. Lace your damn shoes if you know you're going to a fight.
I don't want to die at home. I survived Afghanistan and everything.
All right, well, listen, thank you for your service. He's apparently a veteran, survived Afghanistan, and I don't know if this is how he shot in Afghanistan, but if he did, he likely didn't hit anything there either. But there's stuff you can do in a war zone, folks, that you can't do on a town street in America. There's stuff you can get away with in combat under those rules of engagement that are not the same rules of engagement as are permitted to armed American citizens in the homeland. You can't just walk around a community discharging your firearm like this. You couldn't do it and not have it be reckless, even if you were being subject to deadly aggressive force, which he apparently was here.
Thing else, to die at home in my own yard.
Yeah, let's not do that. By the way, I presume this is on his property. I don't know. I mean, for all I know, in theory, the news could have seen this sign on a neighbor's property and just clipped it.
Well, a few things about his comments. First of all, as far as the flip-flops goes, I mean, yeah, while I do agree with him, I do think you should practice in your flip-flops. I've done that because you never know when you may have to defend yourself. The main thing, though, is the part where he's talking about you can't get away with in a war zone or in combat. I mean, you can't get away with in regular civilian life defending yourself, even if somebody's trying to hurt you, what you can get away with in a war zone or in combat. Because that's just how it is. People, if you end up being arrested for defending yourself, you're going to be judged by people that aren't there. And the only way I can mitigate whatever my students could be involved in is to not try to encourage them to do responses that I know are super lethal. That's why instead of saying, I teach martial arts because martial means of war, I would really like to say I teach civilian arts. And yeah, it's a martial arts. But you understand what I'm saying? My interpretation of Taekwondo, even though Taekwondo is a military art, is to have regular people be able to defend themselves against regular to deadly violence. That's it. I'm not training you to go off to war, and I say that a lot to my regular students. I'm not training you to go off to war. I want to train you to be able to defend yourself against some knucklehead trying to knock you upside the head, up to like avoiding crime. And to do that, the best thing to do that, in my opinion, is the onesie twosie traditional martial artsy thing. Learn your forms that a lot of people swear are dance moves. Try to get in the best shape that you can. It doesn't mean that you have to look like an action figure, be built like Bruce Lee. Learn your forms. Learn all those punch kick things. Cross train, if not get a black belt in a grappling art. Do that first before you think about learning weapons and think about carrying a gun. And see, the veteran in this video, he's part of that. I'm pretty sure he's a person who would not ever take lessons from me because he is part of the what I call the I'll just shoot you. And I mean shoot. I'll just shoot you crowd. Hey man, why don't you take some lessons from me? Blah, blah, blah. Nah, man, I just shoot you. And what gets me about the I just shoot you crowd is they automatically assume that I am against weapons. I am not against weapons. I was going to look down here. Now I'm not going to. If I show my weapon, then YouTube will have a problem with me, even though they got video footage of here, people discharging firearms. I'm not against weapons. Technically, the weapon for Taekwondo is the gun. So I am not against weapons at all. And now that I've gotten Hapkido ranking, Hapkido has weapons, things like, the cane and the belt. and the scarf. And I started learning some cane things. I've learned some knife things from investigating and cross training. I want to put all that into Cecil Ryu. I don't know if I'm going to ever fully do Cecil Ryu Hapkido, even though I can. But I like Taekwondo because to me, Taekwondo is everything. Just like that's why I like Bruce Lee too. How he said Bruce Lee, Jeet Kune Do is a philosophy, how to look at things. Because to me, if Taekwondo is the way of the hand and the foot, when are you not using your hand or your foot in physical self-defense? You're not. So when I hear stuff about when I see people like I just shoot you crowd or the people that want to go to deadly force all the way, I kind of cringe because you see that same thing too in a lot of people's interpretation of the physical hand-to-hand combat martial arts moves. They feel like traditional martial arts aren't real, they don't work. Even though when you go and you look at people that do the combatives for civilians, you're taking stuff that you learn from the forms of traditional martial arts and the one steps of traditional martial arts, and you're just doing them in a more fluid manner. Because we do it punch here, leave my arm out, practice doing this with some kind of stiff response because you're learning a skill. When you learn how to drive a car, nobody grabbed you, just threw you out in traffic. You had your little simulations and you built yourself up to competence. So, you know, key takeaway, there are no rules in a street fight. Yeah, there are. And I'm borrowing this from Grandmaster Art Mason. I think that was him that said that. Yes, there are. There are rules in a street fight. They're called laws. They're called what it's going to look like when the person decides to start recording you on their video. When they start recording you, they don't record the part where the person maybe even swung at you a couple of times with a stick. They are the he said versus she said. They are the, oh my goodness, I'm a big black guy and people are going to assume I'm up to no good. They are the, oh my gosh, I'm a white male and this black teenager tried to rob me. So I kicked him 5 times in his head. And then when I threw him, I didn't do the gentle takedown that Master Cecil said to do. I decided to just do the combat throw and drop him on his head. And everybody thinks I'm a member of the clan. It's that type of stuff. It's perception. And guess what, folks? I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't think it should be that way. But we don't live in should, we live in is. And if you hear anybody who is a student of mine talking that I'll just shoot you stuff, going out there trying to trying to be just overly extra aggressive with it, they didn't get that from me. That's their own choice. So I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like talk about the martial arts and peace. Remember, there's things you can do in a war zone you can't do in a school zone. It seems like common sense, but maybe common sense is not so common. Peace, and as always, thank you for your time. Don't be reckless with your martial arts, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you.